everybody, I'm Conservation Chick. Thank you for joining me again for another episode, and today I want to tell you about the fact that are we ingesting microplastics?
Hi, I'm Conservation Chick. I want to fill the void and the misconception of thinking that you can't be more conservative. Come with me on this journey to living an ocean-friendly lifestyle and together becoming ocean-minded.
Well, we're going to learn about microplastics today, and I want to teach you a little bit about what are microplastics. I don't know if you've ever heard about microplastics, but it all happened recently in the 21st century. We started using plastic so abundantly because of its durability and its versatility in our lifestyles. But the only thing about plastic is that it doesn't biodegrade. It only breaks down into smaller pieces. The plastic enters into the ocean, the waves, the sunlight, and the corrosive nature of the seawater break down the plastics into small little bits. If it is less than 5 millimeters, it's considered a microplastic. I came down to this lovely beach here and I saw if I could find any microplastics just by looking around in the sand. Just out here fishing for plastic, you know. And I found some. So this is not a microplastic. This is a big piece of plastic. And this was sitting here on the beach. After a while, this will probably end up breaking down into a microplastic over thousands of years. I find a lot of these disgusting. Straw. And these, after it breaks down, it turns into this. It breaks down into this. So those are microplastics. There's two types of microplastics. One type, it comes from the industry in our products. There are microbeads that are found in cosmetic products. They come from tires that washes into the streams from runoff and wash into the ocean. And then there's also from our clothes. And you probably would never think about this, but when you wash our clothes, it has different types of plastic in our clothes, like polyethylene and synthetic fibers, and it collects in the water that's in our washing machine. And unfortunately, the washing machines don't have filters, and the water rushes into the sewage system and ends up in the ocean. That one's primary microplastics. Secondary microplastics is from big pieces of plastics, like plastic straws, eventually breaking down into microplastics. These big pieces of plastic, balloons, these little nurdles, you can see this nurdle breaks down into tiny little microplastics. So the whole point of this problem with microplastics is, what is the problem and how is it affecting us? There's a big question that is circulating, and that question is, are we ingesting microplastics? To answer that question, the answer is probably yes, we are. Because the microplastics are ending up in the ocean, and then they are getting eaten by fish and entering into the food chain. And that food chain goes all the way up to us. So how this happens is that these little tiny little particles are in the ocean, and the bases of our food chain, our zooplankton, are eating these microplastics. You have the primary producers, the phytoplankton, and then the zooplankton think that that's phytoplankton and eat the microplastics. And then a bigger fish eats the zooplankton, a bigger fish eats that fish, and we eat that fish. And the microplastics are sustaining through that whole food chain and ending up in our bodies. The thing is that there's not a lot of research on this topic. It's actually a new phenomenon, especially with this plastic boom. And we don't know about the side effects that might happen to us. Honestly, we don't know what's gonna happen, but comment below what you think will happen to us and how you think this problem is going to pervade through all of this. Microplastics have been found in every part of the ocean. They've been found in the deepest part of the ocean, the Mariana Trench even, inside of fish, inside of their digestive systems and their other organs. This is crazy because the number of plastic that's in the ocean, most of what makes up these plastics in the ocean are microplastics. So they're actually the most pervasive form of plastic that is invading in our oceans, and it's one day going to affect us. The thing about microplastics is that they are a surface, and since it is a hard surface, it attracts things to attach to this surface, which include different types of toxins and different types of pathogens. So the biggest health hazard for these microplastics and being ingested into our aquatic life and into our bodies is that it has toxins on them, and it has these pathogens on them that attach to them. They act like sponges for these things, and that's not going to be good for us. So there are two ways you can avoid getting these microplastics from your clothes ending up in our oceans today. One way is using this filter that I found online, and this is for in most cases where washing machines don't have a filter that can block the microplastics from entering into the sewer system. And this is just a filter that jumbles around in your washing machine and collects that for you. The second way is avoiding synthetic clothing, which is really hard to do, and it's more expensive. This means only buying organic materials for your clothing, like organic cotton or hemp. However, this is not an ideal way for most people to go about living. So that's why I included this filter for you. So I hope you enjoyed learning about microplastics with me today, and comment below what you think about these microplastics and how we have seen so many microplastics being ingested by our aquatic life and how it is worrisome. Also, how interesting it is that these microplastics are completely everywhere, and we are now coexisting with these microplastics, and things that we can do to help out with this problem. Join me in being anti-plastic. Try saying no to plastic in the first place so it doesn't enter into our oceans and get ingested by the aquatic life and ingested by us. And you can see my other video, which is replacements for plastic, so that you don't have to rely on plastic for your lifestyle. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today, and please like this video and subscribe to my channel.
If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to hear more videos about staying ocean-minded, subscribe to my channel.